A new beer war is brewing. The amber nectar's in the midst of a major shake-up. Iconic Australian brands Foster's and Lion Nathan are in the hands of global players. And as tastes turn to premium beers, licensing rights are the new battleground, as Emily Stewart reports.
Foster's.
A new entrant wants to join the party, attracted by potential high profits and high margins.
It's at least $1 billion profit pool for the three major brewers in Australia.
The beer market is dominated by two players, Foster's Group and Lion Nathan. But in recent years, there's been a major shake-up in the ownership structure. In 2009, Japanese beverage giant Kirin bought Lion Nathan, and last year, Anglo-South African SAB Miller acquired Foster's. And with consumer preferences moving towards premium and international brands, competition for licences is now key to profitability. Since the takeovers, Lion Nathan is starting to win market share from Foster's.
This has primarily been driven by the shifting of very lucrative foreign label contracts that have moved away from Foster's towards Lion, particularly with Stella Artois and Corona being arguably some of the country's most popular beer brands.
And those brands are owned by Grupo Modelo, which is in turn 50% owned by the biggest brewer in the world, Belgian-based Anheuser-Busch InBev, which is a direct rival to SAB Miller.
It certainly is quite a war, if you will, between the two giants, or the behemoths, if you will, of the brewing industry.
Terry Davis says it's a great time for Coca Cola Amatil's re-entry into the market. CCA previously operated a joint venture with SAB Miller running the Blue Tongue Brewery, but the deal was dissolved when SAB Miller acquired Foster's. Now CCA is back with a new partner, Casella Group.
We think that there is two options there. Those international brewers that are unhappy about dealing with a potential competitor in the Australian market to distribute their product. And then there are those international brewers who don't have a strong presence or who have no presence in Australia. We feel we're a fairly ideal partner to have that conversation.
That will certainly see a shake-up given CCA's enormous cash reserve and furthermore their rather unparalleled distribution channels.
Some analysts say if the high Australian dollar continues, the competition for licences may not be relevant.
That is having a major impact on the cost of imports into Australia, hence making those imports probably cheaper for the Australian consumer. And we've seen that in the last year or so, where a lot of the popular overseas brands are now being fully imported as opposed to being made under licence.
And there's full-strength competition from the retailers as well.
Coles and Woolies muscling in on their own private label alcohol brands, which again erodes margins for the brewers, given that Coles and Woolies again are a duopoly on the retailing side. So they can essentially dictate what beers they want to sell on the shelves.
Craft brewers continue to grow in popularity.
The growth in the microbrewers over the last 5 to 10 years, which I think again has demonstrated that there is a real appetite within the Australian consumer for different and interesting Australian-made beers.
And Coca Cola Amatil hopes there's a thirst for a new Australian entrant when it launches its premium beer next year.